In the city of Santa Marta, Colombia, residents can be seen lining up for water from a truck. People across the country face water rationing as reservoirs dry up. Colombia's government has announced new measures to cut consumption as dry weather persists. According to infrastructure operators, Colombia's reservoirs are now at 28.75% capacity. Local media reported Wednesday that this was more than 3% below the lowest level recorded for April over the past 20 years. Environment Minister Susana Mohammed: "We are still influenced by high temperatures in the two oceans. The situation is unprecedented in the planet's history, and we are still affected in general by high temperatures and situations that may appear in the atmosphere." The El Niño phenomenon arrived in Colombia at the end of 2023, causing high temperatures and droughts that led to forest fires throughout the Andean country. That has pushed reservoirs to their lowest levels in decades. Colombia's president says it's all evidence of a climate crisis and can't just be blamed on El Niño. On a hospital bed in Niger, one of possibly thousands of victims of West Africa's worst heat wave in living memory. That extreme weather was a once-in-a-200-year event, her report said on Thursday, driven by man-made climate change and likely to become much more frequent. In late March and early April, many West African countries were gripped by days and nights of temperatures above 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 Celsius. The severity of the heat wave led climate scientists from World Weather Attribution to conduct a rapid analysis. It concluded that the temperatures would not have been reached if industry had not warmed the planet by burning fossil fuels and other activities. Despite a lack of data, the WWA estimates that the heatwave led to hundreds or possibly thousands of deaths. A rare and epic rainstorm pounded the United Arab Emirates on April 16. The rains were the heaviest experienced by the Gulf state in the 75 years that records have been kept. Grounded flights, leaks in homes, knocked out power. The storm brought much of the country to a standstill and caused significant damage. Questions were raised whether cloud seeding could have caused the heavy rains. It's a process in which chemicals are implanted into clouds to increase rainfall in an environment where water is scarce. The UAE, which is located in one of the hottest and driest regions on Earth, frequently conducts cloud seeding to increase precipitation. But on this occasion, the UAE's meteorology agency, there were no such operations before the storm. A low-pressure system in the upper atmosphere, coupled with the low pressure at the surface, acted like a pressure squeeze in the air. That squeeze created the conditions for the powerful thunderstorm. As floods engulfed large parts of central Russia, residents of one village ignored advice to flee their homes. Instead, they built a homemade dike, a barrier similar to a dam that acted as a water blockade to save their houses from record-high floods. Drone footage shows the embankment had prevented floodwater from inundating homes. Last week, authorities in Orenburg City called on thousands of residents to evacuate immediately due to rapidly rising floodwaters. A group of 20 to 30 locals here then started constructing the Wall of Earth, which now stretches for over 4,700 feet. The children and the elderly, all those who could not get out on their own, were evacuated before the construction. The disaster was caused after major rivers across Russia and Kazakhstan burst their banks due to a historic deluge of melting snow. Several parts of Russia are also hit by the worst floods in living memory. A top ally of President Vladimir Putin said regional authorities had fallen short in their forecasting and emergency response. The water level in the city of Kurgan has exceeded the dangerous mark, state media reported on Wednesday, citing authorities. In neighboring Kazakhstan, almost 117,000 people have been evacuated due to floods, according to the country's emergencies ministry.